Today I'm going to talk about how this piece of artwork was made. It's about the song Skylark the Oak, which I released a music video of recently. Thank you so much to all the people who left lovely comments. It's a song that has accompanied me and Fee for a long time. We've been singing it since we've known each other really, and Fee and I got married in 2018, and we're extraordinarily grateful that so many people gave us lovely personalised gifts kind of associated with the song. And one beautiful example of this is this picture here, which was made by Fee's sister Charlotte, and you can find her on Instagram at Lottie of the Valley. She makes loads of amazing beautiful artwork, and I thought I'd invite her over to talk to you about exactly how she made this piece of art. It's got loads of different layers to it. I think it's such a beautiful illustration of the song, which is why I chose to include it at the beginning of the book and the album. So yeah, let's have a chat with Charlotte. Hi Charlotte.
Hello.
Thank you very much for doing this video. So you created the artwork for Skylark the Oak, which you did in 2018 for mine and Fee's wedding, which was a really beautiful gift, so thank you again so much for that. And could you talk us through a little bit about how you created it and what the medium is?
The sky is watercolour with stars sewn on it. The lark and the tree, the leaves on the tree are needle felted, and the trunk is actual bark, which has been foraged and stitched on. You
know, after all these years, I've never actually noticed that's a real piece of bark. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting better the more you look at it. It's amazing.
The background is ribbons. The river was a tie.
Wow.
The inside of a tie, like the silky bit on the inside, and then more ribbons sort of twisted and stitched on, and then just kept adding beads to it.
Yeah, they really make it shimmer. It's great. The bit that always pulls me into it is the sky. It just looks so magical somehow.
It took me a while to work out how I was going to achieve that, and it was a lot of wet watercolour, and then just kind of blotting it with a tissue to get the light part of it.
It adds that kind of twilight setting. It's really nice.
I think it took a couple of attempts to get it right.
Worth it. Worth it. And you said the tree and the bird are felting, is that right?
Yes, needle felting.
Needle felting, and I have to confess I hadn't heard of needle felting until you made this. So what is needle felting?
So this is the wool that you've used for wet felting or needle felting. Obviously wet felting, you're using hot water and soap and you're rubbing it together, and that makes it sort of stick together. With needle felting, you're not using the water, but you're jabbing it over and over again with a very, very fine needle, and that binds it all together, and you just end up layering different colours over. You can make it thicker, so you've got thicker strands, or you can just spread it out so the colours sort of mix a bit more.
That's really clever. So how long would just the bird have taken, as an example?
I probably wouldn't have done it all in one go. It probably would have taken, 2 or 3 hours, I imagine. It can be quite quick. It depends whether it's working or not. Like, if something works straight away, you can get it done quite quickly. Yeah. But sometimes if it's not working, you're like, oh, I'll come away from that. I'll leave it for a bit and then go back to it, and you have a fresh idea and try something else, and then it just sort of comes together. But I do remember finding the bird tricky.
Worth the effort. It looks great.
I got there in the end. Right, so I have a big sponge, and I've cut out a piece of felt, and then I've started layering on the pieces, and this is my very, very sharp needle, and it's basically just over and over again punching the wool into the sponge.
I love the colours that you've chosen there.
I would say that it was well thought out, but it was literally the only colours I had left in my pack.
Happy coincidence.
Happy coincidence. I had a lot of greens and a lot of purples. So that's the colour, but actually I think it looks quite nice. Hopefully it will be a dragon over some very familiar mountains, which I'm sure you will recognise.
So Charlotte's being very humble, but her illustrations and her artwork are amazing and are a real part of our family's lives. They're everywhere we look. There's so many special occasions that she's made beautiful illustrations for, and I know that you do lots for your friends as well, of their kids.
Yeah.
There's loads of amazing work on her Instagram page, and as I was saying this, I just noticed that on the shelf to Charlotte's right is one such illustration, which was it for my birthday?
No, it was Secret Santa.
Secret Santa. Brilliant gift.
I think that was a COVID
Brilliant.
make.
And if you can't see from here, I'll zoom in a little bit. That is me arm in arm with one of my my legends, my heroes, David Bowie, who of course I never got to meet, especially not during his Ziggy Stardust years. So it did bring a little tear to my eye when I saw that, because it's just such a lovely idea. Yeah, so thank you so much again for that.
Welcome.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. I found it really fascinating listening to how this was crafted. It clearly took so much love, care and attention and hours of work. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, put them in the comments, and if you haven't seen a video for Skylark and the Oak, I will link that below. But more importantly, go over to Charlotte's Instagram page, which is Lottie of the Valley, and have a look at her amazing work. Thank you so much, and see you next time.